You are listening right now because something inside you is already tired of pretending, tired of shrinking, tired of smiling while feeling out of place in rooms where everyone else seems to belong. You have felt it for years, this quiet pressure in your chest, this unspoken knowing that your soul was never designed to blend into the background. You tried, though. You learned how to lower your voice, soften your fire, hide the questions, hide the tears, hide the depth. But even when you did everything right, you still felt wrong, and that confusion hurt you more than rejection ever did. You wake up some mornings with a heaviness you cannot name. Not depression exactly, more like homesickness for a place you cannot remember. You look at your life and wonder why things that satisfy others leave you empty. You wonder why shallow conversations drain you, why injustice burns you, why silence speaks louder to you than noise. You have asked yourself sometimes in the dark, what is wrong with me? But the truth is sharper and holier than that. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is different about you. You were never meant to blend in, and your spirit knows it even when your mind tries to forget. From a young age, you sensed it. You noticed things others ignored. You felt emotions others avoided. You questioned systems others obeyed without thought. And because of that, you were labeled difficult, sensitive, intense, strange, or proud. Some walked away from you without explanation. Others stayed but tried to reshape you into something more convenient. Each time, a small part of you wondered if disappearing would be easier than standing out. But hear this clearly, the discomfort you feel is not a sign of failure. It is the ache of destiny pressing against limitation. It is the tension of a soul that does not fit cages. Right now, as you listen, heaven is not speaking to the crowd, it is speaking to you. This is not coincidence. This is divine interruption. You were scrolling, searching, distracting yourself from a feeling you could not explain, and suddenly these words found you. That is not random. That is alignment. God knows exactly where to find his marked ones. You have been in survival mode for too long. You learned how to endure instead of expect. You learned how to function instead of hope. You told yourself, this is just how life is. But deep down, you knew you were settling for something beneath your calling. And still, you kept going, wounded but faithful, tired but breathing, unsure but listening. That alone tells heaven something about you. You are still here. You have not quit. Even when you wanted to disappear, you have not hardened, even when betrayal would have justified it. You have not lost your sensitivity, even when the world punished you for it. That tenderness you tried to kill. It is not weakness. It is evidence that your heart is still alive. There were moments you almost gave up, not always in dramatic ways. Sometimes it was quieter than that. You delayed obedience. You compromised small truths. You stayed silent when you were meant to speak. You stayed when you were meant to leave. Not because you were rebellious, but because you were tired. And God saw that too. Listen carefully now. This is important. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are in preparation, and preparation feels like isolation to those who do not understand calling. Heaven often removes the applause so you can hear instruction. God often strips away familiarity so you can learn discernment. And when he does, it feels lonely, but it is intentional. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. That promise is not for everyone. It is for those who wait. Those who resist the urge to blend in just to feel accepted. Those who choose hope when numbness would be easier. Those who keep showing up with an honest heart, even when nothing seems to change. You are one of those people. And this is why the pressure has increased lately. This is why the old coping mechanisms no longer work. This is why distractions feel hollow and familiar paths feel closed. You are approaching a threshold. What used to sustain you can no longer carry you where you are going. God is not punishing you, He is positioning you. But hear the warning wrapped inside the promise: eagles cannot soar if they are afraid of heights. You cannot rise while begging to be understood by those committed to misunderstanding you. You cannot step into power while apologizing for your existence. Do not do it, no matter the price. Do not trade your becoming for temporary comfort. This is the moment where many turn back, not because they hate God, but because they fear standing alone. But you were never alone. You were just early. And pioneers always walk stretches without witnesses. If these words are touching something deep inside you, do not ignore that signal. Respond to it. Honor it. Right now. Take a moment to engage like this message if it resonates. Share it with someone who feels unseen, and subscribe so you stay connected to what is coming next. And at the very end of this moment, as an act of alignment, comment the number 77 to declare that you choose strength over blending in. There comes a season in your life when the greatest discipline is not action, but restraint. A season when God does not ask you to explain yourself, correct every misunderstanding, or defend your name. This is that season. And it will feel unnatural at first, because you are intelligent, articulate, and capable of proving your innocence. You know the truth. You remember what really happened. You can trace every accusation back to its root. But wisdom is calling you higher than being right. You are learning to stop arguing for your reputation and start trusting God with it. This is not weakness. This is not passivity. This is maturity forged in fire. When you stop debating with people who have already decided who you are, you reclaim spiritual authority. You stop feeding distractions that drain your energy and refocus it on obedience. Silence in this season is not surrender, it is strategy. You must understand something crucial: not every misunderstanding is meant to be corrected. Some are allowed so that God can reveal who is truly for you and who only tolerated you when it was convenient. When you explain yourself to the wrong people, you leak power. When you remain silent before God, you gain it. There will be moments when lies circulate quietly, not loudly enough to confront directly, but subtly enough to sting. Your name will be questioned. Your motives will be assumed. Your absence will be misinterpreted as guilt. This is where the old version of you would rush in, messages drafted, receipts prepared, tone carefully balanced between humility and self-defense. But that version of you is being retired. You are being trained to let God speak louder than your explanations, to let fruit speak louder than rumors, to let time expose what arguments never could. Silence becomes sacred when it is paired with faithfulness. You are not called to be mute, you are called to be anchored. Choosing silence does not mean you approve of injustice. It means you trust God to handle it in ways you cannot see yet. It means you believe that truth has weight, even when it is temporarily buried. And buried things, when alive, always rise. There is pain in this discipline. You will feel misunderstood in rooms you once served faithfully. You will feel overlooked where you poured yourself out, and the temptation will be to announce your sacrifices so they are not forgotten. Resist that urge. God keeps better records than people do. Faithfulness in misunderstood seasons looks unglamorous. It is showing up without recognition. It is doing the right thing when applause has left the room. It is continuing to love without reassurance. This is where character is sealed, not built. Built happens earlier. Sealed happens here. You are also learning discernment. Silence teaches you who listens with humility and who listens only to respond. When you stop explaining, some will drift away not because you were wrong, but because access to you was built on your availability to perform clarity for them. Let them go. They were never assigned to your future. This season will feel lonely, but it is not empty. God is close in quiet seasons. He does his most precise work when there are fewer voices competing for your attention. When you remove yourself from the courtroom of opinions, you enter the sanctuary of alignment. There is a spiritual reason for this instruction. The enemy wants you exhausted, reactive, scattered, always defending, never advancing. Heaven wants you focused, rooted, and unshaken. Silence breaks cycles of provocation. Faithfulness breaks accusations over time. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, it is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, verse 7. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he did not open his mouth. He was led like a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before its shearers is silent, so he did not open his mouth. This is not a call to be voiceless. It is a call to be anchored in purpose rather than ego. Even Jesus did not answer every charge. He discerned when silence would fulfill prophecy more powerfully than speech. And if silence was part of his path, it will be part of yours. You are not being asked to disappear. You are being asked to deepen, to let your roots grow so that when your season of visibility comes, you are not moved by applause or crushed by criticism. Right now, heaven is teaching you how to stand without validation. So when you are misunderstood, remain consistent. When you are overlooked, remain faithful. When you are misrepresented, remain aligned. Let your life become the argument. Let your obedience become the explanation. This season will pass. It always does. But what it produces in you will last far longer than vindication ever could. And when God decides to speak on your behalf, no explanation you could have offered would compare. There is a quiet cost to not blending in that few people talk about. It is not just rejection. It is exposure. When you stop conforming, you become visible, and visibility attracts pressure. You begin to notice that simply being yourself unsettles people. Your restraint feels like judgment to them. Your discipline feels like pride. Your boundaries feel like offense. And suddenly, without trying to lead, you are being watched. This is where the real weight begins. You start realizing that obedience is expensive, not in money, but in comfort. You lose access to certain rooms. Some invitations stop coming. Some friendships grow awkward. Not because you changed your heart, but because you stopped betraying it. And this is where the temptation whispers, just soften it a little. Just compromise enough to stay connected. But compromise never stops where you plan to end it. The danger of blending in is not that you lose applause. It is that you slowly lose clarity. You begin adjusting your convictions to avoid tension. You delay obedience to avoid friction. You start negotiating with truth. And every small delay trains your spirit to hesitate when God speaks. This is the cost no one warns you about. You are not wrestling with people, you are wrestling with alignment. Heaven is precise. Partial obedience still carries consequences. Delayed obedience still dulls sensitivity. And you can feel it when it happens. That sharp inner conviction starts to fade. What once disturbed you now feels manageable. What once felt wrong now feels normal. This is where many gifted people stall, not because they rebel, but because they drift. You must understand the call on your life demands clarity. God does not anoint confusion. He does not bless divided loyalty. The more visible your assignment becomes, the more costly compromise will be. That is why the pressure feels heavier now than it did before. You are closer to something sacred. There are moments when heaven pauses and watches. Moments where nothing dramatic happens externally, but internally. Everything is being decided. These are the moments where you choose whether comfort or calling will lead you, whether you will obey quietly or delay politely. And hear this warning with love: repeated compromise trains spiritual blindness. Not instantly, but gradually. Sensitivity dulls. Discernment weakens. Conviction softens. Until one day you look back and realize you traveled far without ever making a conscious decision to leave. That is why this moment matters. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be honest. Honest with God. Honest with yourself. Honest about where you have been negotiating instead of obeying. This is not condemnation, this is intervention. The cost of not blending in is real, but the cost of blending in is far greater. It costs you authority. It costs you peace. It costs you momentum. And eventually, it costs you identity. You were not called to fit in, you were called to stand firm. As the ancient words recorded still echo today, the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, chapter 12, verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Transformation requires resistance. Resistance creates friction. Friction reveals commitment. And commitment is what heaven responds to. Right now, you are being trained to choose alignment over approval, to choose obedience over ease, to choose truth over timing. And yes, it will cost you, but it will also crown you. There will be people who misunderstand your firmness as distance. Let them. There will be moments when obedience isolates you. Stay. There will be seasons when doing the right thing feels unrewarded. Continue. Heaven sees what people ignore. God records what others forget. You are closer than you think. The resistance you feel is not a sign to stop, it is confirmation that you are pressing against limitation. Darkness resists what threatens it. Confusion fights clarity. Comfort fights calling. Do not retreat now. This is the moment where you decide, not loudly, not publicly, but internally, that you will no longer negotiate with what you already know is true. That decision realigns everything. And before you move forward, I want you to anchor this choice in a simple, deliberate act. In the comments, write this short declaration, no more than 3 words. I choose obedience. Here is why this matters. Words reinforce decisions. When you declare obedience, even quietly, you bring your will into agreement with heaven. You remind yourself that this path is intentional, not accidental. That you are not drifting, you are choosing. And every time you see those words again, they will call you back to alignment when compromise tries to speak. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand clear, even when it costs you. And what you protect now will protect you later. By now, you have probably sensed it, that subtle shift in the atmosphere around your life. Things that once felt neutral now feel charged. Rooms feel heavier when you enter. Conversations pause. Eyes linger. It is not paranoia. It is awareness. When you stop blending in, your presence begins to confront what others are trying to avoid in themselves. Light does not need to accuse darkness to expose it. It only needs to stand still. This is where the war over your light becomes undeniable. You are not fighting people, even though it feels personal. You are stepping into territory where spiritual resistance increases because your life is no longer passive. Your discipline irritates chaos. Your peace provokes unrest. Your refusal to react frustrates manipulation. And without saying a word, you disrupt patterns that have gone unchallenged for years. That is why pressure rises. You may notice sudden misunderstandings, unexpected opposition, strange delays, emotional fatigue that does not match your physical effort. These are not signs that you are doing something wrong. Often, they are confirmation that you are doing something right. Darkness does not waste energy fighting what poses no threat. But here is where discernment matters. The enemy's strategy is not always to stop you outright. More often, it is to exhaust you, distract you, or provoke you into misusing your light, to pull you into arguments that drain you, to bait you into reaction instead of response, to turn your calling into combat. Do not fall for it. Your light is not meant to flicker in constant conflict. It is meant to stand steady. Calm light unnerves darkness far more than frantic resistance. When you stay anchored, when you refuse to become reactive, you force opposition to reveal itself without your help. There will be moments when you want to dim yourself just to keep the peace, to explain less, to show up smaller, to hide your convictions behind politeness. But peace purchased by self-erasure is not peace, it is postponement. And it always comes back with interest. You must remember who you are. You are not loud, but you are weighty. You are not aggressive, but you are firm. You are not trying to be different, you simply are. And the more aligned you become, the more your presence draws a line in the spirit. Some will feel drawn to it. Others will feel threatened by it. Both reactions are information, not instruction. This section of your journey is about stamina, learning how to carry light without burning out, learning how to stand visible without craving validation, learning how to fight without becoming what you are fighting against. This is advanced ground. Not everyone reaches this stage. There is also grief here. Grief for the version of life you thought you would have. Grief for relationships that cannot follow you into clarity. Grief for the simplicity you once had before discernment sharpened your vision. Let yourself feel that grief without letting it turn you back. You are not losing people. You are losing alignment with what no longer fits. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Notice the language, cannot be hidden. This is not a suggestion. It is a statement of spiritual law. Once God lights you, hiding becomes resistance. Dimming becomes disobedience. Your visibility is not ego, it is assignment. And yes, visibility attracts warfare, but it also attracts guidance, provision, protection. You are not exposed without covering. Heaven does not reveal what it does not intend to defend. The same light that draws opposition also draws instruction, wisdom, and timing. This is why you must stay connected to truth, to discernment, to reminders of who you are when the noise gets loud. That is also why communities matter, not crowds, but aligned voices, spaces that do not flatter you but strengthen you, that walk with you instead of watching you. If this message has been steadying you, grounding you, helping you make sense of what you are facing, take a moment to support it in simple ways. A quiet like tells the system that messages like this matter. Sharing it may place it in front of someone who feels alone in their calling. And subscribing is not about numbers, it is about staying connected to clarity as you continue forward. You do not have to fight every battle. You do not have to explain every truth. You do not have to prove your light. You only have to remain aligned. The war over your light will not last forever, but the authority you gain by standing through it will. Stay steady. Stay visible. Stay faithful. Darkness adjusts. Heaven advances. There is a moment in every chosen life when the door forward looks nothing like the miracle imagined. You expect thunder, clarity, affirmation. Instead, you are offered something painfully simple, something that offends pride and tests humility. This is where many turn back. Not because God is silent, but because his instruction feels too small for the size of their problem. This is where the story of Naaman speaks directly to you. Naaman was not weak. He was not unknown. He was a commander, respected, decorated, powerful. He had authority, reputation, and victories behind his name. Yet beneath all that strength, he carried a hidden affliction, leprosy, a slow, humiliating disease that no rank could cure. This matters because it reveals a pattern. God often allows unresolved wounds to remain in highly capable people, not to shame them, but to lead them to surrender. You may recognize yourself here. Outwardly competent, inwardly aware that something still needs healing. You have prayed, you have searched, you have done many things right, and yet there remains a place of vulnerability you cannot fix through effort or excellence. Like Naaman, you are accomplished but unfinished. When Naaman finally hears that healing might be possible through the prophet Elisha, he arrives with expectations, gifts, letters, entourage. He is ready for a grand exchange, something worthy of his status. But Elisha does not even come out to meet him. Instead, a messenger delivers a simple instruction: go wash in the Jordan River 7 times. This is where offense enters the story. Naaman is furious. The Jordan is ordinary, muddy, common. He expected a spectacle, not submission. He wanted affirmation, not instruction. And in his anger, he almost walks away from his miracle. This is critical because offense often shows up right before obedience. How many times have you stood at the edge of healing, only to hesitate because the instruction felt beneath you, too repetitive, too quiet, too humbling? God asked you to forgive again, to apologize first, to return to something simple, to be faithful in something small. And your mind said, surely there must be another way. Naaman's servants, those beneath him, are the ones who speak wisdom. They say, essentially, if the prophet had asked you to do something great, you would have done it. Why not obey when it is simple? That question echoes across time and lands directly on you. Why resist simplicity when you crave transformation? Healing often hides behind humility. Breakthrough often waits behind obedience that does not flatter the ego. God rarely heals the way we expect, because expectation is often tangled with pride. He heals the way we need. When Naaman finally yields, when he steps into the Jordan and washes, again and again, nothing happens at first. Imagine that. 1 dip, 2, 3. Still leprosy. This is where faith is tested, not in the first act of obedience, but in the repetition, continuing when there is no immediate result. Many stop at dip 3, but Naaman keeps going. And on the 7th time, his skin is restored clean, renewed, like that of a child, not just healed, but transformed. What obedience could not earn, humility unlocked. This is not just a historical account. This is a mirror. You are standing before a door that looks unimpressive. God is not asking you to conquer. He is asking you to submit. Not to impress, but to trust. And that instruction you keep overlooking, that is your Jordan. As the ancient record reveals, it is written in the 2nd book of Kings, chapter 5, verse 14. So he went down and dipped himself in the Jordan 7 times, as the man of God had told him, and his flesh was restored and became clean like that of a young boy. Notice the wording: he went down. Healing required descent before restoration. Pride goes down, control goes down, reputation goes down, and in that lowering, power flows. This section matters because the narrow door is still open, but it is not wide. It does not reward force. It responds to humility. And humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is trusting God more than your own understanding. You may be waiting for a dramatic sign while ignoring a simple command. You may be praying for clarity while resisting obedience. You may be asking for healing while protecting the very posture that keeps you bound. Do not miss this moment. Naaman almost did. And here is the grace in the story: God did not cancel the miracle because of Naaman's initial anger. He waited, patient, ready. The door remained open until Naaman decided whether pride or obedience would lead. The same is true for you right now. This is not coincidence. This is divine timing. The instruction you keep revisiting in your spirit is not random. It is mercy. The door of humility is not a punishment, it is an invitation. At this point, anchor yourself. As an act of agreement, not superstition, but alignment, comment the number 7 below. Not because the number itself has power, but because it reminds you of obedience completed, humility chosen, and healing finished. Let it mark your decision to go all the way down into the Jordan this time. Your miracle is not far, it is just humble. There is a quiet shift that happens after obedience, one that few people notice at first, including you. Nothing dramatic announces it. No sudden applause, no instant elevation. Yet something irreversible takes place in the spirit. Authority settles, identity clarifies. You begin to move differently, not because circumstances changed, but because you did. This is the season where obedience matures into discipline. Discipline is not punishment. It is alignment sustained over time. It is choosing the same truth again tomorrow that you chose yesterday. Even when no one is watching and no reward is visible. Obedience says yes once. Discipline says yes repeatedly. And heaven responds more to consistency than intensity. You are learning that calling without discipline becomes chaos. Gift without structure becomes liability. Passion without restraint burns out. God does not just crown those who obey, He crowns those who endure. This is where many fall away quietly, not in rebellion but in fatigue. They grow tired of being careful, tired of guarding their heart, tired of choosing restraint when shortcuts are available, tired of carrying weight without recognition, and slowly, discipline loosens. But you are still here. You have discovered something sacred. Discipline protects what obedience unlocks. It keeps the door open. It keeps the vessel clean. It keeps the crown from slipping. The world celebrates spontaneity, but heaven honors stewardship. God entrusts authority to those who can carry it without being consumed by it. Your life now requires boundaries others do not understand. Your schedule, your speech, your habits, these are not restrictions. They are reinforcements. You are being trained to hold weight without leaking power, to walk with clarity without arrogance, to remain teachable even as responsibility increases. This is where identity settles. You are no longer asking, "Who am I supposed to be?" You are asking, "How do I remain faithful to who I already know I am?" That question signals maturity. You have stopped chasing affirmation. You have stopped reacting to every opinion. You have stopped measuring progress by speed. Now you measure by depth. There is also grief here, the grief of finality. Some doors you know will never reopen. Some versions of you are gone for good. You will never again be as careless, as unguarded, as easily impressed. That innocence has been replaced by discernment. And while discernment costs comfort, it grants peace. You are not becoming harder. You are becoming clearer. Obedience has reshaped your instincts. Where you once reacted, you now pause. Where you once explained, you now observe. Where you once rushed, you now wait. These changes may feel small, but they are seismic in the spirit. Heaven trusts those who can wait without wandering. You are also learning that crowns are not worn, they are carried. Responsibility precedes recognition. Weight precedes visibility. God often allows you to carry authority long before anyone calls it leadership. This protects you from pride and prepares you for permanence. There will be moments when discipline feels lonely, when doing the right thing isolates you, when restraint makes you invisible. Do not misinterpret that quiet as stagnation. Seeds grow in silence, roots deepen in darkness, and what is being built in you now will support more than you can imagine. This is why shortcuts no longer appeal to you. You have seen what they cost. You have watched others rise quickly and fall publicly. You have learned that slow faithfulness builds something collapse-proof. God is not in a hurry, and neither are you anymore. You are being crowned internally before anything changes externally. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, we find in the letter of James, Chapter 1, verse 12, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." Notice the order. Perseverance comes before the crown. Standing the test comes before reward. Love is proven through endurance, not enthusiasm. This crown is not given to the loudest, the fastest, or the most visible, but to the faithful. You are learning to love God in obscurity, to obey without spotlight, to remain disciplined without immediate return. That kind of love changes a person. It stabilizes you. It makes you unshakable. This is also where peace deepens. Not the absence of trouble, but the absence of panic. You no longer fear being misunderstood. You no longer fear missing out. You no longer fear delay. You have learned that what is yours cannot pass you by. Discipline has given you discernment. Discernment has given you confidence, and confidence has given you rest. You are not striving anymore. You are stewarding. And when the next season opens, because it will, you will not enter it desperate or unprepared. You will enter it anchored, carrying weight with grace, authority with humility, visibility with restraint. This is how crowns are worn without crushing the one who carries them. There is a moment when everything you have walked through finally gathers into meaning. Not all at once, not loudly, but with weight. You wake up one day and realize you are no longer trying to belong. You are no longer explaining your depth. You are no longer apologizing for your difference. Something in you has settled. You have accepted what you once resisted. You were never meant to blend in. This acceptance changes how you stand. You are no longer hiding your light to protect others from discomfort. You are no longer negotiating your values to maintain access. You are no longer confused about why your path looks narrower than most. You see it now. The narrowness was not restriction, it was direction. It kept you from carrying what would dilute you. It protected the signal within you. You are becoming a living signal. A signal does not shout. It does not chase attention. It stands steady and unmistakable, and those who are meant to see it will. This is what your life has become. People may not understand you, but they feel you. Your presence invites honesty. Your stillness confronts chaos. Your clarity exposes distraction. Without trying to lead, You give others permission to stop pretending. This is why your journey had to be lonely at times. If too many voices had surrounded you early on, the signal would have been distorted. God separated you so the frequency could remain pure. You were refined in quiet so that when you speak or even when you remain silent, your life carries weight. You are no longer trying to prove anything. You have been misunderstood and survived, overlooked and remained faithful, delayed and did not detour. That endurance has tuned you. You now recognize when to move and when to stay, when to speak and when to let your consistency answer. This is not passivity. This is mastery. You are sent not everywhere, not to everyone, but exactly where you are needed. Being sent does not always look like movement. Sometimes it looks like remaining visible when it would be easier to disappear, remaining kind when bitterness would be justified, remaining obedient when compromise would accelerate results. This is how signals hold their ground. There will be those who find courage because you did not shrink, those who find clarity because you did not conform, those who return to truth because your life made it believable again. You may never hear their stories, but heaven records them. Influence is not measured by reach, it is measured by impact. And make no mistake, your visibility matters. You are not here to be impressive. You are here to be accurate, to reflect truth without distortion, to stand as evidence that obedience still works, that humility still heals, that faithfulness still builds something unshakable. In a world addicted to noise, your steadiness is disruptive. There will still be resistance. Light always attracts it. But you have learned not to internalize opposition. You discern it. You outlast it. You understand now that not every door closing is rejection. Many are redirection. And not every open door is assignment, some are distraction. You walk differently now. You are sent forth with boundaries, not bravado, with compassion, not compromise, with authority, not urgency. You do not rush because you are not late. You do not compete because you are not replaceable. What God marked cannot be duplicated. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 16. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Notice the purpose, not self-glory, not validation. Direction. Your light points beyond you. It reminds people of God when belief feels distant. It restores reverence in places dulled by performance. Your life becomes a signpost, not a spotlight. This is why staying connected matters. Signals remain strong when they are maintained. Truth stays clear when it is revisited. Encouragement multiplies when it is shared. If this message has strengthened you, consider supporting it in quiet, meaningful ways by liking it so others who need steadiness can find it, by sharing it with someone who feels out of place, and by subscribing so you remain connected to what continues unfolding. Not out of obligation, but alignment. You are no longer asking for permission to be who you are. You are simply being it. And that authenticity is what carries authority. You were never meant to blend in because blending in erases signals. And the world does not need more echoes. It needs clarity. Stand where you are sent. Shine how you are designed. Remain faithful to what has been entrusted to you. You are not hidden. You are not late. You are not alone. You are a living signal. You have reached the end of these words, but not the end of what has been set in motion. Some messages are meant to conclude with certainty. This one is meant to leave space for reflection, space for silence, space for choice. What you do next does not need to be loud or immediate. It only needs to be honest. You may feel calm. You may feel stirred. You may feel unsettled in a way that is difficult to explain. All of that is acceptable. Not every seed breaks the surface quickly. Some work their way downward first, settling into the soil where roots can form without being seen. What matters is not how fast you respond, but whether you remain open. If something in this journey resonated, you do not need to rush to define it. Let it stay with you. Let it follow you into your ordinary moments. Let it speak again when you are tempted to shrink, to rush, to blend in for the sake of ease. Truth has a way of returning when it is needed most. You are not required to prove anything, not to God, not to people, not even to yourself. The work that matters now is quiet alignment, consistency, integrity, and small choices. Those are the places where lives are truly shaped. As the ancient words remind us, it is written in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Let that be what remains with you. Guarding does not mean hiding. It means tending carefully to what has been entrusted to you. If you feel inclined, you may choose to support this message in simple ways by liking it so it can reach others who are quietly searching, or by sharing it with someone who might need steadiness rather than answers. There is no pressure here, only invitation. What matters most is what you carry forward, not what you click. This ending is intentionally open because your story is still unfolding. There is more clarity ahead, more strength being formed, more purpose revealing itself in time. You do not need to see all of it now to keep walking. Stay attentive, stay grounded, stay faithful to what you know is true. And when you move on from here, move gently, aware that something meaningful has been planted and trusting that it will grow in the right season.